everyone, welcome to ABELI Reviews. I'm Andrew, and today we are covering how to customize and build your ship without being an elite dangerous. So we're going to go through a ship builder. How do you find these things? Well, the first thing you want to do is go to Coriolis.io. Now, if you don't want to have to spell that, Coriolis.io, you can go into your search of choice, your web browser search of choice, type in elite dangerous ship builder. What you're looking for is Coriolis EDCD Edition Shipyard. Once you go there, you'll be taken to a lovely list that essentially shows you all of the ships in Elite Dangerous. From here, what you would do is you would pick the ship you want to customize. Now, this is really cool for a few reasons. One, it lets you see a lot of the main stats, and you can then sort ships by stat, by cost. So you go here, you can see things that are sorted by cheapest to most expensive, or vice versa, with the Imperial Cutter being the most expensive ship you can just purchase outright, to your size, to the amount of crew, to the mass lock factor, to their agility, the hardness, its hull, speed boost, armor shield, speed boost, armor beast, all those base and max elements, plus however many core module classes, hard points, internal components, all kinds of good things. So essentially, once you've kind of figured out what ship you want to do, or let's say you're shopping for the future, and let's pretend I want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pick something fairly sort of simple. We're curious, and this would allow us to kind of see multiple things. We are very curious about speccing out let's put them by name, by the Vulture. So let's go ahead and select the Vulture. It is a small ship. It costs 4.9 million credits. It can have a crew of 2. We go ahead and click that, and now we're actually taken to the Vulture's sort of dashboard, if you will, the module building experience here. So before we dive right into all the things here, I'm just going to kind of show you the entire page, and then we'll go through the spaces. So you can see here, we sort of scroll over to the bottom, and it's got room for growth. Coming at the top, you have the name of the ship, the ability to save that ship, give it a cool name. So you can kind of save this into your browser's cookies. You would then have, if you come back to the site, all drop down of all the builds you may have had. So you can save multiple ships here. One nice thing is anything you do and change here actually updates the URL. I'll show you that in an example. So you can send it to somebody else and then they can see your ship build. So that's super cool. You can then find stations that sell things, short links, materials needed for the build, all the good stuff at that top row. And of course, the name of your build. From there, you have sort of the ship itself and all of its stats. So you can see its speed, its boost, the max for jump range, its max unladen, laden, total unladen, and total laden. You can see its shield amount, and this thing does have little hover states. You can see that raw shield strength, including boosters, integrity, damage per second, all the fun pieces that sort of come with it. And then you have all of those options below for the shields, for the shield generator, for the armor. You know, we have lightweight armor selected, so that shows up there. All those good things. If you scroll down just a little bit, you then get into what should be fairly familiar to some of you if you're familiar with what your current ship sort of has, is its core internal components, its modules, the optional internal modules, your hard points, and then your utility hard points. And I think that's where the real magic of this tool comes in. The best part of this tool is it essentially filters all the hard work out for you. If you want to know what sort of power plants are available for this particular ship, all you have to do is click here, boom, and now you have all of those power plants specific to this ship, any ones that it can actually account for and hold, which is really nice. Same thing for all of the hard points that it can accept, all of the optional internals that are available to it. Everything here that applies to this ship is specific to this ship, which is fantastic. It's not going to show you something that this ship can't support, which is really nice. And if it is, it's going to lock it out. So once you've made all your selections, again, utility mounts, hard points, which are your lasers, all those good things, you then have this really nice space. You can kind of look at your ship control. You can do the boost. You can then see your system, engine, and weapons, what that looks like when these things are actually powered and sort of upgraded. So you can see the numbers will then change. If we put a bunch into weapons, then our pieces over there change. We can even kind of change and update the recovery times. You can see that's actually updating as I put more into engines. Then you reset it. Boop, boop, boop. Maybe not. Let's just kind of tie everything up again. That's fine. We're not going to be too worried about it. Doot, doot, doot. There we are. So in any case, then you get into your fuel carried. You can kind of start to do some maths there. Cargo, you can say what you have if you're trying to plot and sort of understand your distance, your engagement range, and then all the really fun stuff down here. So this starts to show you everything that's in your power modules and all those fun pieces. You can even see your profiles if you're interested in that sort of fun math. But this is the big one. As you start to add modules and different pieces to your ship, I'm sure you've all ran into this, where sometimes you've exceeded your power limit. This allows you to start to play with that and really make some decisions and some upgrades. You can see we're not actually over it, but you can go in here and set your priority level. So you can say, okay, if I give this like a 2, this is a 3. All those fun pieces, you can start to really see that. You can even turn things off to see how they affect the power. And this is a nice sort of visual of exactly what your ship and how your ship will behave in Elite Dangerous. Then on the right-hand side, it actually shows you the cost, which is really helpful because you're going to want to know when you add all these really nice fancy pieces, what is it going to cost to build this ship, buy this ship, and of course, insure this ship. You can also see things by retrofitting if we made some changes. And then of course your reload costs once you get your fuel, your weapons, all that good stuff on here. So this is a fantastic tool. I cannot stress enough. I have found myself on long rides just sort of using this tool and just kind of fun building ships that I think are really cool and fun. And then I save them and then I think, okay, maybe I'll change it and tweak it. I have about 17 different ships I've built and sort of imagined what I would want if I ever get to those tiers. But okay, let's sort of go through one real quick. So we want to do the Vulture. And what I think we want to do is we're going to try to go with kind of my standard build, which I really like to go in here. And I always sort of choose the mirrored surface composite for my armor. Let's go with our 4A for our power generation, for our power plant, for our thrusters. We're going to do 5A. We're basically going to top tier everything just to kind of have some fun. Frame shift drive is there, life support all the way to the tippity top, power distribution 5A as well. Let's give me those good sensors, and then of course we're already set to the highest fuel tank that we can have in sort of the core internal space. From there, let's get a really good shield generator at 5A for this piece, and these are all non-engineered, non-guardian pieces, right? I always want to start that way for all of the people that are watching these videos, because you never know who's coming in. If we're ever going to do a guardian video, which we are, we'll make sure to call that out in the title. So from there, or at least in the notes. And then you also have your restricted. And restricted basically means only certain items can be here. And this is even a limited list now, which is fantastic. For our purposes, let's give it a shield cell bank. Oh my gosh, Selly sells seashells by the seashore. From there, we also have our tier 4. So we can then put anything that is tier 4 in this space. I am kind of a sucker for fuel scoops. I think those are really great. So we're going to toss a fuel scoop here. You can see here we've now exceeded certain pieces, right? We've now gone way past what we can account for. So this would actually turn everything off if we did that. But that is okay. All we have to do is start choosing some different pieces. So let's say we're going to put this guy at like a 3. Our fuel scoop can be a 5 because I know I'm not going to ever use it till I'm actually out and about. 3 will be for combat. All those good things. We'll come back to the other pieces. But I think that's super helpful and super important. We are still just a little bit over, so we're going to want to adjust those pieces. For the most part, you can actually just turn things off if it really comes to that. But this is what I'm talking about. As you start to build your ship, you want to balance sort of your needs in what you can do and can't do. And if you are just trying to do this on the fly, it might not be very easy. So it's really fun to come in here and start to make those big decisions. I think we're definitely going to want to have something fun, kind of have a good time here. So let's go down at the bottom. And let's choose one of my favorite pieces, which is, of course, Super Cruise Assist. And then I think we're also going to want to turn on, oh goodness, yes. I like that docking computer. Those of you that have seen our videos, you know this. And then what else do we want to stick here? You know what? I think sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta throw on a module reinforcement piece. So let's go ahead and stick that there. And let's make our hull. I think we're gonna make a bruiser type ship here. We're not gonna go very far. You know, we're gonna pivot. So I am going to make it so this ship really isn't about going the distance. Instead, we're going to kind of go bruiser. And in that aspect, I don't even think we're going to look at this shield cell bank. Instead, we're going to go hull reinforcement package. I want this guy just to be a hard hitter, but I do think the fuel scoop's important. No matter where you're going to go, you're going to need it. And especially when you look at our laden and jump laden options. At a max of 15 light years, but most likely we're probably at that 14.94. Okay, so we've got all of our pieces here, and now let's look at our hard points. Sorry, pulse laser fans, I'm a beam laser fan, and I also love gimbaled. That's because I'm not a great pilot. I always drift and swift, so I think it's important to do beam laser. But I don't think you should just do that because the Vulture only has the 2 options. We're going to scroll down here, and we're going to choose the multi-cannon on gimbaled, 3C all the way up. That way you have 1 of each. I think that's really fun. We now have a real good shield, all those good pieces here, hull reinforcement, fuel scoop, all of these nice things. And you know what? I don't mind about the time, because if you look at that, it's only 23 seconds to refuel. Knowing that, and because we have our hull reinforcement package, our shield, we're going to go with a 4 for a module reinforcement package as well. Doot, doot, doot. We're going to scroll down here and right there, 4D, perfect. This guy's pretty much going to be a hard little bruiser. We're not going to worry too much about our shields. We are going to go this route because we do have that mirrored surface composite as well. So that's going to help us with that thermal help and that explosive and that basically just thermal. It's not going to be great against kinetic. It's not going to be great against explosive. That's where these guys are going to kind of step up and help. From there, we have our utility mounts. I think we better throw in shield boosters all the way. Now, we've already exceeded our power plant again. You can see that here. So let's see if we can find that NAS balance. If not, what we might have to do is throw in a point defense turret instead. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we went way over. So we know we're going to want this when we're actually fighting. So I'm going to set this at a 2, 2, 2. Perfect. Super Cruise is when we're not in fight mode. So we're going to set that as a 3. Same thing for the frame shift drive. Sensors, you need those. Multi-cannon is going to be our 2 as well. Beam is going to be 2. Life support, got to have it. Power distribution, this guy can be at our 3. Shield generator, thrusters, power plant. We are still exceeding what we need to do. So that tells me that we're probably not going to be able to make the shield boosters work that well for us. That is okay. Let's go ahead and switch to point defense and point defense. How close did we get now? Ooh, look at that. We are so close. But I don't think we're going to be able to exceed it because if you can see here, our 2s are just popping us up just a little bit more. I wouldn't mind if the 2s go out, but I don't think I like that. That's going to make me feel a little funny. So let's go ahead and go with, let's go with a chaff and a chaff. There we go. So now we have kind of just auto and non-defensive elements. So you can see here we've now sort of balanced ourselves out. We could have gone in here and tweaked everything and had a real fine time. I think overall the intention here was to kind of just have some fun and show you these pieces. So now we've done that. We can look over here. We have our list of everything we want. The actual Vulture itself, all of our pieces, all the things we made adjustments for. So our total cost now is 34 million credits. And that's kind of what I wanted to hit at you for a little bit, right? When we first looked at that Vulture, it was 4.6 million credits, I think 4.9, whatever it was, doesn't matter, but that's not the actual cost. The real cost is in all of the modules and things you stick on it. Now, of course, I kind of was a little bit willy-nilly here as I just went top tier for all of these things, bounced around in this area, and then just chose some hard points and then chose some utility mounts. But you get the intention that your choices are going to start to cost you certain pieces. If we look at the retrofit costs, it is going to be nearly the entire, it's way more than the actual cost of the ship. And that's where a tool like this is so helpful because it starts to teach you and let you understand buying a ship is just one very small part of the equation. Everything else is where your money really starts to stack up. And then, of course, if you're going to keep those things, fuel, chaff, all that kind of stuff, that's going to cost money too. Everything here is going to cost money for you. You can even then see sort of your damages and your outputs and all those great things. There is a lot of details and pieces of information that are in this this system and tool. So if you do have any questions or if you have any cool builds you want to share with us in the community, please drop them in, put them in the comments. Always really fun. We really do appreciate sharing this kind of content with people. There's a lot of really cool builds out there, and I do hope you found this content useful. Thanks again for stopping by, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.